And speaking of the Orange Menace, this full moon is particularly relevant for him because it's cutting across Libra at 8 plus degrees, which puts it in direct contact with the Eris-Neptune opposition within his axis Hollywood T-square, even while it makes a fairly precise square to the top of that T, the 12th house Mercury. This is the kind of astrology alignment where you will definitely feel this full moon more than usual. Since January, and especially because he was simultaneously booted off social media back then, his public profile has necessarily been lower. But don't be surprised if he pops up during this full moon period, especially because he is likely to be feeling his oats due to transiting Jupiter and trine to his Sun. Also, Mars is in Gemini, his Sun sign, and Mars tends to really push him into action, though as we've seen in recent years, seldom in a wise and/or wholesome way. Something else that I've noticed, and I think this is due to the confluence of difficult planetary cycles currently assailing his chart, and as an aside, the planetary assault I'm referring to has been happening since 2017 and dramatically accelerated since the middle of 2019, but certainly in 2020 and this year, and it's a very tough astrological scene. So what tends to happen is that when planets like Mars and Jupiter are in empowerment spots, they embolden him, and then he acts on it, and almost always proceeds to step into yet another ditch. Mars is always looking for something to do, to act upon, and Jupiter always feels optimistic and looks for opportunities to expand. These are good impulses, but if the surrounding planetary energy is problematic, or alternatively, when we're talking about the chart of an idiot, then even the good planets can betray you. This full moon from Aries to Libra lights up his messaging media houses, so the effects might be in that arena, but since it squares the 6-12 axis, and especially the 12th house Mercury, you have to bring issues related to health, enemies, allies that turn into enemies, and just about every conceivable danger you can think of. I should also add that Mercury's transit position is very close to where Neptune is already transiting, and this is another problem for the Donald, since it is nearing a trigger to the square. The huge Neptunian planetary influence is about to make to his moon from his natal 8th house, which, aside from warning about the direst outcomes on a milder level, it threatens on matters of money, taxation, and debt. In summary, a tricky full moon for the Donald. I'd say he'll either do something he will come to regret sooner or later, or, alternatively, life will present him with an unsavory situation. Now, in the event the effect turns out to be minor or even zero as far as we will actually hear, no worries. What he's already navigating planetarily, and what he has coming toward him as we move into spring and beyond, will more than take care of him nicely.